on-camera acting classes. That's what gets my hair on fire. And I'll tell you 2 reasons for it. I was watching a movie called The Other Woman. How many of you have seen it? Okay. Cameron Diaz and I forget the young woman's name, but I'll look it up. It's on my phone. There are several scenes in the movie, but one in particular struck me full in the face like a baseball bat. I was laughing so hard, and it was ridiculously funny, but it was ridiculously physical. This woman chews the scenery. It is one of the finest examples of physical comedic acting I've ever seen. And I told you that I had looked up several scenes that are in films and movies that I asked you or referred to you to actually go see if you really believe there's a different kind of acting between film and TV and theater. My stated opinion on that is if you're lying in front of the camera, you're lying in theater. If you're lying in the theater, you're lying in front of the camera. Acting is acting. It's telling the truth under imaginary circumstances. And this is the instrument you play. If it's your voice, it's your body, it's your emotional inner life. And yes, you do have to look at a script and make choices about character, relationship, and all of that stuff. And that's intellectual, but it's done through the body. And if it's not truthful, we know it. We can tell. And this woman, it was fabulous. And then there's another scene right after that where the 2 of them get hammered that's in a taxi cab. And it is absolutely physical comedy. It's mind-blowing how good it is. There's another couple of them. And that is, I asked you to look up Season 3, Episode 8 on How to Get Away with Murder. The Deer Hunter roulette scene between Robert De Niro and
Christopher Walken.
Thank you, Christopher Walken, etc. The Handmaid's Tale, that was on our website as spoiler alert, where she has a baby on camera. The movie Noah with the bird scene with Steve Carell. And then Breaking Bad, there's myriad scenes. The one that comes to mind is the fight between Jesse and what's his name?
Mr. White.
Mr. White.
Walter.
Walter, baby. So I don't expect you to take anything that I say for absolute truth. I expect you to challenge me. I expect you to go look at that and see what I'm talking about. Because here's the thing. I don't know of any actors who come from on-camera acting classes that have great careers. You know where they come from? They come from stage. They come from theater. They come from where they learn how to act, voice, body, emotion, and life. You can't cry on cue, you're only going so far. You can't express rage, you can't let your body go, you can't do that kind of stuff, you're going to have guy number 2 or girl number 3, or you're going to have those kind of roles. If that's cool for you, fine. That's not why I came. I came to make people laugh and cry in the same hour. That's what I want to do. And to do that, and you may never get a chance to do that with some of the direct that's on TV, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Here's the problem. Is not the premise for on-camera acting classes based in the fact that there is a different kind of acting that you need to be trained for film and TV? Am I wrong or right? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the premise, okay, they still don't teach it. Okay? That's the problem. And if the premise is to just give you the feel of what it's like to work in an on-camera environment, then that's a lie as well. Because one of the things that I was thinking about when you see this scene in The Other Woman is they did a master. I don't know how many times they did the master, but I'm assuming it was more than once. But let's say it was once. Then when they do the master, now she has to recreate that for her take. And then has to recreate it for Cameron Diaz's take. And then we have to have the overs. And now while we're doing that, The script supervisor is giving her corrections about what she said and what she should say. The makeup lady is powdering her. The guy that's doing the props is checking the props in the scene. And the person that's doing hair is fussing with her, and she's trying to remember what the adjustments were for the director that gave her in the last take. Do any of them do that in an on-camera acting class that you've ever been in? When they do that, I will acknowledge that that is a good class to give you maybe experience on set. It's as close as you're going to come, but it doesn't teach you how to act. So what are we doing? Why are we paying $30,000 a year to get into an acting school that's on camera? Or $12,000, or anything? Because there are always those who are going to believe that you can get something done quick and easy. What's the old saying? Why is there never enough time to do it right and always enough time to do it over? I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I want you to understand something. I only know this way. Why? Because I know it works. You've seen it week after week after week. It works. Is it hard? Fuck yeah. Is it time intensive? Does it take discipline? Does it take work? Yeah. Show me something worthwhile that doesn't. Any of you play a musical instrument, you know what I'm talking about. Any of you have ever taken any kind of physical dance or have done any kind of physical activity, Muay Thai, you know this shit does not happen overnight. I keep telling you, I'm learning jazz guitar, and oh my God, the more I learn, the more I know there is to know. But if you love what you're doing, and if you're committed to doing it, nothing is ever going to stop you. You'll learn it, and you'll be farther ahead. And I want to tell you something. You know who Candace and all the other casting directors and agents in town are looking for? People who can bring it, who can do what we're talking about here. So there are a lot of lies out there. There are a lot of misconceptions out there. And I was talking to the young man that's auditing tonight. I remember what I was like at a certain age, you know, 17, 20 years old, etc., with no life experience, and bless you, trying to do the best I could, trying to learn, trying to find out. When I started acting, I was 38 years old. So I had done a few things, and I knew bullshit when I smelled it. And that saved me a lot. And it led me to where I found the solution to my problem, to try and become what I wanted to be. I have a vision. You have a vision for yourself? Because I had a vision of what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. I knew I wasn't ready to do it yet, but I knew where I wanted to go. And if you have that vision, hold on to it. But don't fall for bullshit and don't fall for lies. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. And that's it. Use your common sense. There's a lot of smoke and fire and jello in the little tweeting bird school of acting. Don't fall for it. You know, you'll know the real deal when your heart goes pity-pat. It's just like meeting that guy or meeting that girl. You know, right? Anyway, that's what's on my mind. I've actually thought of taking the scenes from these particular movies. I actually watched The Hustlers last night. Down.
Did you see it?
And I want to tell you, there are several emotional and physical scenes in that one. I might include that too. But anyway, I thought of bringing those scenes in and just assigning them.
Yes.
You want?
That'd be fun.
Seriously?
Yeah. I like movie scenes. Right.
Okay, I might, let me think about that, but what I am thinking about doing, because I've told you, you can't do movie scenes in here unless I approve them. I don't want you to do them. I want you to stick to good writing, because we know good writing is not the issue. But these scenes are good writing, so I'm going to think about it. The other thing I've been thinking about is putting on just a kind of intensive introductory program, trying to do it maybe down at the Union or something like that, because I'm committed to standing out there and screaming at the top of my lungs in the wilderness that this is bullshit and this has to stop. And hopefully somebody will listen. But anyway, thank you for listening. Let's get to work.